Welcome to SATV News. This is Anna Hussain with our headlines. Fake documents blocking country's job prospect in abroad, says Chief Advisor. Calls for broker fraudulence-free system. Whether to contest poll is a candidate's personal decision, says Home Affairs Advisor. ICT accepts charges against ex-army official Ziaul Ahsan in connection with allegation of enforced disappearances and murder. Now in details. Chief Advisor Dr. Mohammad Yunus today said that the submission of fake documents has emerged as a major barrier to sending people abroad, despite the huge opportunities offered by destination countries for Bangladeshis. The Chief Advisor was speaking at a function in the city marking the International Migration and National Expatriate Days. Bangladesh has become famous globally for the submission of fake documents, he said, noting that the country continues to face the same complaints from receiving nationals regardless of the destination. He also said the migration system is heavily dominated by brokers and syndicates, where the government's role remains limited. Dr. Yunus further warned that the widespread use of fake documents is leading the closure of doors for Bangladeshi workers seeking unemployment abroad. Advisor Asif Nazrul was among others present at the program. BNP Acting Chairman Tariq Rahman has personally announced that he will return to Bangladesh on December 25. He made the announcement on Tuesday at a discussion meeting organized by the BNP in UK to mark the Victory Day. The event has held at the City Pavilion Hall in London, United Kingdom. Earlier on Friday, BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir had stated at a briefing that Tariq Rahman would return to the country from London on 25th December. Tariq Rahman has now personally confirmed the date of his return. Addressing the meeting, Tariq Rahman also stated that the fall of the fascist government through the uprising of students and the general public was not the sole achievement of any political party or group. Rather, he said it was a collective achievement of the people of Bangladesh. The BNP acting chairman said that students, teachers, businesspersons, farmers, workers, professionals, women, children, and homemakers from all walks of lives took streets against fascism, which ultimately made it impossible for the authoritarian government to remain in power and forced it to flee to the country. BNP senior leader Dr. Abdul Moin Khan today said Bangladesh cannot afford to return to fascist path again in the future. The BNP leader made the remarks while speaking at a discussion organized by the Doctors Association of Bangladesh at the Jatiyo Press Club. Dr. Moin Khan, a BNP Standing Committee member, also said that Bangladesh is now one of the most densely populated countries in the world, and by 2050, Dhaka is expected to become the most crowded large city. Bangladesh is surviving on an informal economy. Those who will run the country in the future must work on these issues, he added. At the same time, the BNP leader said the Awami League, instead of serving the people, created a system of self-serving power groups, which he termed an oligarchic structure. The BNP leader further said that even after 54 years of independence, the nation is still searching for democracy. Home Affairs Advisor, retired Lieutenant General Jahangir Alam Chaudhary today said it is a candidate's personal decision whether to contest an election. He made these comments while addressing journalists at the BKMEA office in Naranganj. His comments came a day after BNP nominated candidate for Naranganj 5, MD Masud Masud announced that he would not take part in the election, citing security concerns. Responding to questions about security-related development involving India, specifically the closure of visa application centers and the summoning of Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi, the advisor said. Bangladesh had summoned them early as well in foreign affairs. It is common practice that if one side summons, the other side does too. Jahangir Alam also sought prayers from injured Sharif Osman Hadi, saying Inqilab Monch's Osman Hadi is undergoing treatment in Singapore. He is a July fighter and has made significant contributions to the country. The International Crimes Tribunal 1 took today cognizance of formal charges against retired Major General Ziaul Ahsan in connection with allegations of enforced disappearances and murder. Prosecutor Ghazi Monwar Hossain Tamim said the prosecution submitted the charge sheet to the tribunal's register earlier in the day. Following the move, the tribunal set December 21st for the next hearing and ordered the authorities to produce Ziaul Ahsan before the court on that date. Although there was no schedule to hearing today, the tribunal proceeded with the case in the absence of the accused, who was not produced before the court. Ziaul Ahsan, a former senior official of the Rapid Action Battalion, previously headed the force's intelligence wing as Additional Director General. He also served as Director General of the National Telecommunication Monitoring Center until August 5th last year. He was arrested on August 15th last year in connection with a murder case filed with Newmarket Police Station in Dhaka. A total of 4,58,315 voters have so far registered through the Postal Vote BD app to cast their votes in the 13th parliamentary election and referendum. Alongside expatriate Bangladeshis from different countries, government employees engaged in election duties and those staying outside their own voter areas are also registering through the app. Until 11:30 a.m. today, 45,440 Bangladeshi voters residing inside the country registered under this category. The information was obtained from the postal voting update published on the Election Commission website. Among expatriates, the highest number of registration came from Saudi Arabia. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 রবার্টস লেন, সিঙ্গাপুর 218302। ফোন 0065 629 24900। বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো 80টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort in suites and rooms. Sophisticated fine dining restaurant. Crystal clear swimming pool for ultimate relaxation. Modern gym and serene spa for well-being.
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. US President Donald Trump has expanded a US travel ban barring nationals of 5 additional countries and people traveling on Palestinian Authority issued documents from entering the US. The White House said the restrictions were intended to protect the security of the United States and will come into force on January 1st. Full entry restrictions will be imposed on people from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan and Syria, as well as Palestinian Authority passport holders. The administration also moved Laos and Sierra Leone, which were previously subjected to partial restrictions, to the full ban list and put partial restrictions on 15 other countries, including Nigeria, Tanzania and Zimbabwe. Donald Trump said the expanded travel ban was necessary because of what his administration described as failures in screening and vetting system overseas. Officials cited high visa overstay rates, unreliable civil records corruptions, terrorist activities, and a lack of corruption in accepting deported nationals. A Palestinian infant has frozen to death in the Gaza Strip, local authorities say, as Israel continues to restrict the entry of shelter supplies and other humanitarian aid to the enclave despite the harsh winter condition there. The Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza said on Tuesday that the 2-week-old baby Mohammad Khalil Abu al-Khair died a day earlier after seeking treatment for severe hypothermia brought on by the extreme cold gripping Gaza. Israel's 2-year war has decimated more than 80% of the structures across Gaza, forcing hundreds of thousands of families to take refuge in flimsy tents or overcrowded makeshift shelter. A huge storm that recently hit the Strip killed at least 11 people as territorial rains and fierce winds flood tents and caused damaged buildings to collapse. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Tuesday that Ukraine faced difficulties in meeting its financial needs and a European Union discussion to use frozen Russian assets to support Kiev was crucial. Speaking in The Hague during a joint press conference with acting Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof, Zelensky said that using the Russian frozen assets would help Kiev to balance out a disease in support from some of its partners. There seems to be no opportunity to stand strong without this support, remarked Zelensky.
Ви бачите, як ми працюємо. Не всі раді формату, як можна використовувати.
Navid Akram, the surviving suspect in Sunday's mass shooting at Bondi Beach in Sydney, has been charged with 59 offences, including 15 counts of murders and one of committing a terrorist act, said the New South Wales Police. Akram also faces 40 charges of causing grievous bodily harm with intent to murder, as well as one charge of causing a public display of a prohibited terrorist organization symbol. He was critically injured during the incident on Sunday and had his first hearing from his hospital bedside, the local New South Wales court said. The case has been adjourned until April 2026, the court added. The alleged gunman, Navid's father, shot dead by police during Sunday's attack, was originally from the southern Indian city of Hyderabad, and his family did not know about the radical mindset, said Indian police on Tuesday. In a statement providing more details about the man alleged to have carried out the attack with his son as an accomplice in southern Indian state of Telangana, said Sajid Akram, had got a decree in commerce in Hyderabad, the large and bustling tech and pharma hub, what is the state capital. Meanwhile, the manhunt for the gunman who killed 2 Brown University students and injured 7 more in a classroom shooting stretched into a 4th day on Tuesday, leaving the campus and surrounding neighborhood on edge. Authorities, including the Providence Police and FBI, released a video comprised of surveillance clips from neighborhood cameras tracking the movement of the suspect shooters on Saturday. The shooting occurred at 4 p.m. Investigators detained a man in his 20s on Sunday, but released him late in the day after concluding that he was not involved. Officials have not detailed the evidence that initially led them to take the unnamed man into custody. The two students killed were Ella Cook, a sophomore, Moore Mountain Brook, Alabama, and freshman Mokam Aziz Umurskov, Uzbekistan-born Veligerian. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro spoke at a public event in Caracas on Tuesday and urged peace while accusing the United States of trying to seize Venezuela's natural resources. Maduro said oil workers should organize an international sustained protest to defend free trade for Venezuela oil, and he rejected U.S. allegations of drug trafficking as fake news. Imperialism and the fascist right want to colonize Venezuela to take over its wealth of oil, gas, gold, among other minerals. We have sworn absolutely to defend our homeland, and in Venezuela, peace will trump, he added. Later on Tuesday, U.S. President Donald Trump ordered what he described as a total of complete blockade of sanctioned oil tankers going onto and out of Venezuela, according to a post he made on Truth Social.
Debe proceder.
Doctors in England began a 5-day strike on Wednesday over pay and working conditions during a surge in flu cases and with no end in sight to increasingly bitter dispute between the government and doctors' union. The walkout is the largest in a series of strikes this year by resident or junior doctors, who make up nearly half the medical workforce and say their pay has been eroded over more than a decade. According to the government, if it cannot afford to increase pay more than it already has, and Health Minister Wes Keating has called the strikes self-indulgent, irresponsible and dangerous. Meanwhile, National Health Service England warned last week that hospitals were facing a worst-case scenario from a surge in case of a virulent strain of flu. Flu hospitarian in England surged by more than 50% in early December. Chinese President Xi Jinping backed the work of Hong Kong's leader and his administration on Tuesday, while expressing his condolences to victims of the deadly Typo fire. Hong Kong Chief Executive John Lee in a 3-day duty visit to Beijing, with the highlight Beijing being his formal report to President Xi Jinping, whom he met on Tuesday afternoon. During the meeting, Xi voiced the central government's support for the city and praised Lee's work, including overseeing legislative council elections and safeguarding national security. She also offered condolences to victims of the devastating blaze at Taipo's Wang Fu Court, which claimed at least 160 lives, calling the tragedy heartbreaking. Chilean President-elect Jose Antonio Cast said on Tuesday he would support any action to end Venezuela's government, calling it a narco-dictatorship. While speaking during a press conference in Buenos Aires following a meeting with Argentine President Javier Milei, Cast was asked whether he would support U.S. intervention to remove Maduro from power. Cast also addressed relations with Bolivia, saying international changes would allow more fluid dialogue with the neighboring country on security and trade issues. Prosecutors said they plan to file murder charges on Tuesday against younger son of Hollywood filmmaker and politician activist Rob Reiner, accusing him of using a knife to kill his parents in their Los Angeles homes over the weekend. Nick Reiner was arrested several hours after the bodies of his father, an actor, director Rob Reiner, and mother, photographer, producer Michael Reiner, were discovered in the couple's house on Sunday afternoon. Prosecutors said evidence gathered by the Los Angeles Police Department led homicide detectives to Reiner, who was taken into custody without incident. Police investigators turned over the case to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office on Tuesday, and DA Nathan Hochman said during a news conference that 2 counts of first-degree murder would be formally filed in court against Nick Rainer later in the day. The district attorney said a knife was used in the killings.
The Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus.
The death toll from a vehicle collision on Indian Expressway has risen to 613, confirmed official. The crash occurred on the Delhi-Agra Expressway and was attributed to poor visibility caused by dense winter fog. According to local media, emergency responders including fire services and police rushed to the scene, and locals and witnesses attempt to rescue those trapped into the burning vehicle. Before ending, we go through the headlines again. Fake documents blocking country's job prospects in abroad, says chief advisor, calls for broker fraudulence-free system. Whether to contest poll is a candidate's personal decision, says Home Affairs advisor. ICT accepts charges against ex-army official Ziaul Ahsan in connection with allegation of enforced disappearances and murder. You're up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with us.